Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another, I almost said Q&A Thursday. This is a podcast. It's the beginning of the week.
It is.
My brain is fried. Daylight savings time did it, people. Anyway, I'm Dane Hennon, your host. To my left, Anthony Fisher.
Hello.
And on the horn, invisible, but now visible, Levi Gates. How's it going?
Oh, Dane, Anthony, good to see you guys. I missed the living snot out of you. While I was soaking it up in sunny Las Vegas.
I think that's what we want to talk about today. We want to just turn this into a whole SEMA recap episode. I think we kind of had our little weekends, but you had the whole week. So you've got the most to talk about. Why don't we just jump right into it? Unless there's some housekeeping we want to address first.
Well, Dane, there's always a little housekeeping, always a little sweeping I need to do, right?
Levi will get his turn then.
Take all the stuff and throw it under a rug, right?
Yeah. Just sweep it under there.
Right under the rug, right under the bed, basically, you go into your pantry and you start throwing things on the shelves just to make it look a little cleaner than what it actually is.
No one else is going to see this. It's cool.
Right, and close that door. So housekeeping this week. So we talked about it last Thursday on Q&A Thursday. If you want to pick up the new NMS, the Nano Magic Shampoo from Coach Chemi, now's the time to pick it up, as well as Top Star from Coach Chemi as well. So
sweetness. Two
sweet products that smell absolutely amazing, but also provide some killer results. So Top Star, as me and Levi have said, is probably one of our favorite dressings that we've used in years, right, for interior use on hard plastics.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on a bottle of it.
Yeah, I know. You're excited. And then the Nano Magic Shampoo. So Nano Magic Shampoo, I kind of touched up a little bit on last Thursday, except I was very sleep deprived last Thursday, so I kind of didn't have all my ducks in a row.
Right.
I almost said ducks in a row. So Nano Magic Shampoo, why do you want it? Why do you need it? Well, if you like wash and waxes, right, and you want something that has a little bit more durability and a little bit more gloss, then this would be the product for you. But by no means do I think it's a necessary product. You don't need it, but if you want it, if you feel like it'll fit into your regimen, if you want to eliminate your last step protectant in a wash and rather do like a blow dry session instead, then it's a great product for that. I just, I think that GSF is the staple, right, in the Coach Chemi, soap line right now, especially for us here in the U.S. But for anybody looking to have a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra gloss, slickness, and then protection as well. I mean, obviously, Nano Magic is something you should check out. I will say, though, I forgot to mention last Thursday, not a great foaming product. So it will foam, right, and it will go onto a surface,
but that's not
quite
really
easily.
The goal.
But it's not its strong suit, is what I'm trying to say. Like Gentle Snow Foam puts on a killer show. It really does.
Foam in the name.
But Nano Magic, a lot less foam. I think there's just a lot less, foaming surfactants probably inside there. But still tons of slickness. So ideal for a bucket wash. But I'm not saying you can't foam it. I'm just saying it doesn't provide the same show. So if you do pick some up and you decide to send it through your favorite MTM gun, right? Your favorite budget pressure washer build, right? Whether it's the Sunjo, whether it's the Karcher Cube, whether it's the Ryobi, whatever the hell Jimmy bought recently.
He seems to be liking that.
Yeah, something like that.
The Master Clean that Dane has, the Master Blaster.
The Hyper Tough.
The Hyper
Tough.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Super Deluxe. Hyper Tough Super Deluxe.
That's how you know it's good.
Oh, man. Yeah, so check that out on the Rag Company website. I definitely think that those are probably going to go quicker than we expect because basically we have Black Friday coming up. Right here in 2 weeks?
Yeah, just a few weeks away.
So I just have this weird feeling that I feel like a lot of the Coach stuff, a lot of the G-Technic stuff, a lot of coatings, a lot of that stuff is going to be flying off the shelf because of just the discount, right? Yeah. And because of the higher discount of the year. So something to think about, right? So if you want to get your hands on some and you don't want to have to worry about stock issues, go ahead and try to get your hands on some now. So. True. Other than that, we do have some more videos in the work here at the Rag Company HQ. We filmed Dane Eats / Tony's Kitchen collaboration.
Of particular interest to the people who watch the Rag Company podcast channel because that's where we drop these things.
Yeah.
It's a small audience, but a very hungry audience.
Well, yes, indeed. And so I made some wings, and I guess my ever-changing wing recipe, it's never perfect, but it was just...
Literally, they were different from batch to batch.
Batch to batch was different, right? Who knows? I was just making them. But it seemed like everybody really liked them. I mean, it seemed like they were a pretty big hit. Dane enjoyed them.
We'll see what I say.
You'll have to see his review, right? It's what I expected, but also not what I expected at the same time. So...
I'm good at that.
So we filmed that, and then this week we have some upcoming videos that we're going to try to knock out here as well. It's just we're coming up into wintertime, so we need to kind of start figuring out what people are wanting to see, right? And try to cater some videos to you. So if there's anything that you're necessarily wanting to see a how-to on, or kind of touch base on, or maybe even revisit that we've done maybe from years past. Speak now.
There were a couple videos we released this weekend that I think were of interest to a lot of people. They were just kind of like sleeper videos. They pop up, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, that's cool. I think a lot of people hadn't realized Sydney's little trick with paint gloss on the carpets there and using the for real and everything there. And Juan, we also had Juan do a Spanish language version of more or less the same concept in a video. So you got both an English and a Spanish version. So a lot of people are picking up on those. And I guess a lot of people hadn't even considered it, like using paint gloss in their interior. So that was kind of a fun one for people to try out.
Yeah,
and then the other one we released was also the Trail Boss, the Chevy, full coating and all that, which is funny looking back at it because I think it was Jay Zeester, one of our commenters there, was like, oh, finally something different, a Chevy truck. That's great. Like, he was really happy to see that. And then, boy, I don't know if I have the heart to tell him what happened to that truck.
Yeah. We won't. We
can just say it. It's fine. The motor blew up on it. So... Yeah.
It's a lemon law.
Ryan
factory
got a
defect.
Brand new truck. So he got a brand new truck after that. So anyway, the new truck, way more cooler looking. It's all lifted and it looks great, but it's a brand new Trail Boss.
Yeah.
So but you're right. That was a good comment to see.
That video was shot a while ago.
Something real.
Yeah. It's like, sorry about that. But you know what? I'm glad people liked it. So that's what matters. Anyway, Anthony, continue.
And then lastly, I guess going into, we have this sale, and we have Christmas right around the corner here, which is approaching actually extremely fast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're almost through, what's it, November 8th, 9th, 10th?
Yeah. We're right about there.
What are we at?
8th.
8th, okay. So... Black Friday is going to be a big thing. And then, obviously, Christmas is right around the corner. So we're looking forward to a holiday season here at the Rag Company, right? Bring in that cheer.
Yeah, well.
Right? We're bringing something. We don't know.
We'll bring something.
We'll bring something. So, exciting stuff. So, Levi, without further ado, SEMA 2021.
Give us the beginning, the middle, and end. You are the story whisperer here. You gotta give us the whole thing, because neither of us were there. We didn't experience any of this firsthand. It's all you.
So yes, thank you, Dane. So I guess I'm going to start by saying that first off, I'm disappointed in Dane Hennon for not keeping himself healthy, carbo loading the vitamin C prior to the event, because poor Dane was scheduled to go, but he ended up getting sick. Thankfully, he didn't get COVID. He just had a cold. But it was enough that close to us leaving that we decided that we were going to have to leave him behind.
Well, I went and got checked for strep, and I haven't thought about that since high school. So that's how severe it felt. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't want to give this to anybody. Turned out it wasn't strep, but, it
thankfully,
just sucked.
So we ended up having to make a call where we swapped out Dane for Nate. So next day, Nate was up on the list to head out. So it was myself, Nate, Juan, John, Josh, and Jeff, and the six of us flew out very early Monday morning, 6 a.m. flight, and that meant we had to be at the airport. We met at the airport at 4:30, so very early flight. No problems with the flight, quick, easy, nonstop to Las Vegas. And when we landed, me and Nate and Juan took one Uber, while Jeff, John, and Josh took the other Uber. And our Uber took us to Detailers of Las Vegas, while the three J's took their Uber back to the convention center to start setting up the booth. So me and the boys hung out outside of the new Detailers of Las Vegas, which is literally across the street from the old Detailers of Las Vegas. However, we were supposed to meet Justin there at 7 a.m. Well, he was going to be there at 7. We were going to be rolling in about 7:30. We showed up at 7:15, and he was not there. Justin didn't show up till 7:45, so that was awesome. My phone's ringing. So we didn't get done with. Hold on.
I think we lost audio on him.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
no,
lost
we
your
lost his audio. Well, that's
Yeah, you're gonna
okay.
have to
So I think
restart.
Nick and Levi are going to sort that out on the back end here. We still can't hear him.
Let's
but
let's do a
they'll
review.
get on
Let's
range.
do a review
So,
of what he said.
Yeah,
so
so
far.
reviewing, what we've seen so far, play-by-play highlights. I heard about, obviously I got replaced by Nate,
Yeah.
and I'm actually really happy about that. I think,
Yeah.
I've gone all these years and stuff, and it's really fun, but it's also super taxing. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate the actual work that goes in. It looks like you're having fun, and you are, but it is a lot of work too. And I think it's good when we get somebody new in the rotation to be able to go and experience that. But I also know that Nate has prior experience having gone with another company before. So he was a good one to go in that place because he kind of knew, how SEMA worked and everything.
Yeah.
Plus, it meant we were going to get some sweet photos out of it, I imagine. I haven't seen him yet, but I think there's going to be some really good stuff mixed in there.
I think that we're gonna have
really
fun.
happy
All right.
about that. There he is.
there we
All
go.
right, perfect timing.
Okay. So I had a phone call come in, and it popped up on my computer, and so that's what shut everything down. So, all right. So, like I said, we made it. We had to hang out outside for about 30 minutes waiting for Justin to show up. And then when he got there, we were able to open the car up, open the shop up, open the car up, and we were able to wash and get the car done before 10 a.m. That was our goal. So 7:45 to 10 a.m., Juan and I went through and just started washing and cleaning and getting the car as cleaned up as possible. It was good seeing Justin Day. And also, he had a PPF training that was going to be happening at his shop. So we had to get the car done before all the people from the PPF training showed up. Freddie and Jared showed up and helped us finish up whatever we needed to do. They had to put some pieces of trim and some other stuff on the car. But by 10 a.m., we were done, and we could pull the car around front, and then we filmed. Nate helped film the rest of Freddie's final video.
That looked great.
And yeah, so it was good. The night before, Freddie and I had been texting each other, and he was bummed because he said, I sure hope we can get do you guys have a rental car so we can do rollers while we're driving to the convention center? Because that would be awesome. And I said, I don't, but I think I could probably bribe our Uber driver if we get it scheduled to right about the same time. We tell our Uber driver basically to keep up with you, and we'll see what we can do. And he's like, I haven't had much luck with Uber drivers. So I say, well, we're going to try it. So I reach out, get an Uber coming. The guy rolls up. He is Eastern European. He's got fingerless gloves.
Nice.
On.
Nice.
He's
Ooh.
got a handlebar mustache.
Okay.
He's
so
got a bandana on.
So he's either Eastern
Ooh.
European
Bandana.
or just a hipster.
Yeah.
No, he's a Dane. He's not a hipster.
Okay.
He's a
Eastern
transporter.
He's a transporter.
he is a
Eastern European
transporter.
transporter.
I'm saying
And
if he
he's
had
like-
a leather backpack and a fixie bike, I think he would be.
Nope. He goes, bro, what kind of car is that? And I said, that's a
Yes.
McLaren. And he goes, wow, that is a really quite beautiful car. I cannot wait to see it. Are we going to be following it to the show? And I said, yeah, if you could. We're going to be filming, and it's me and Jared and Juan, and Nate's in the car with Freddie.
Perfect.
And I said, we just need you to keep up. We're going to be shooting out the window and stuff. And he goes, wow, this is great. We'll roll the windows down. This is going to be badass. And so we start driving. And the guy goes, gosh, I think I'm going to need a cigarette after this because this is so exciting. And we're driving, dude. We're flying down the freeway. Freddie's shooting flames out the back of the McLaren, making all these fun
Jeez.
noises.
Yeah.
Jared and I are filming it. And so my little Osmo has some pretty cool footage on it. But the whole time, like this guy is he is like slowing down and speeding up, waving us forward. Like he knew exactly what we were doing.
Awesome.
And so it was great. And our trip there cost $25, and I gave the guy another $25.
That's
for
the right
helping
move.
us do that.
Yeah.
And we get to the end, and he drops us off at the convention center. We get to where Freddie needs to pull in. There's no line. Freddie just pulls right up and right into the building, basically. But it was so fun, dude. It was hilarious. This Uber driver was amazing. So I couldn't remember his name, but shout out to him. But it was a blast. So we got to the convention center. Juan and I walked on in, and Jeff and John and Josh had pretty much everything set up. So the car just pulled right in, and we were able to finish putting the booth together. We had a problem with the TVs right off the bat. So we had to go buy 2 new televisions. So that was the only kind of bummer for the day. But we had everything done and put back by 4 o'clock. Had the booths all set up and ready to go, and we caught an Uber and headed over to Counts Customs by 4:15, and we did a tour of Counts Customs.
Awesome.
So all of us, plus my dad and my Uncle Kevin were there, and so they joined us, and then Jared Pink also joined us for the Counts Custom tour, and that was a blast. Like, we just went and hung out there for an hour, and it's kind of like when we were at Phantom Works, only a much bigger group of us, and the fact that we had Jared with us too, so they kind of knew. And the guys were really
actually allowed to
really
film
excited.
the vehicles that were in there. You didn't get
no,
turned
not
away
really.
from some. Okay.
No, they right when you walk in the door, it says no filming.
Okay.
And we asked the guys like what we could take pictures of and stuff. And
Sure.
the boys basically, once they got us past, because it's a business. Like there's the employees that are security, and then there's the actual employees that work there. And so we were with Walter and Ryan and Mike, and the 3 of them were like, come over here, take a picture of this. You can video this. You can hang out, like you can shoot here. But it was basically like the tour employees were like, whoa, no cameras, no. Your dad was like, no, I was told. And kind of
I can see him doing that.
Like, yeah, and I was like, Jeff, just let's calm down. Let's wait until we get behind the curtains here, because they basically build it out so like you could go visit this little museum and not be allowed back in the back of the shop, and we were allowed back in the shop. And so, but it was fun. My dad and your dad were taking pictures of everything, and your dad was so stoked because they had Rag Company stickers all over the place on the walls and and they had their banners up, and I think it was really cool. And then to hear them talk about towels and how they use them. It's just always good to hear how people use our towels in different situations and stuff. And then we finished there, and so we thought, gosh, now we got to go get dinner. Where should we go? Ladies and
Where
gentlemen,
else would you go?
Answer was tacos and beer.
That's the only answer.
So for those of you always wondering, and you've probably seen the lore, tacos and beer is our destination
The place.
restaurant for us at while we're at SEMA. So
there you go.
It says
it's
it right in
literally
the
just
name.
called Tacos and Beer. Truly amazing facility. So I called. They said, hey, we're not doing reservations. It's first come, first serve. I said, well, what do you have room for 10 right now? And she said, if you can get here in the next 30, yes, I think so. So we rolled over there, had dinner with my dad and Jared and my uncle and all of us, and it was a great dinner. We just had fun, and I think I ate 5 tacos.
What was Freddie doing
Nate,
while you guys were there?
Freddie went out. Freddie had some friends, had some other stuff he had to do with some folks. He kind of lived on his own schedule, so
Gotcha.
Jared was just kind of hanging out with us because he wanted to hang out with us.
Sure.
He was like, I want to go to Counts Customs. I want to go to Tacos and Beer.
No, that's
So
great.
Jared was a lot of fun to hang out with, especially for just meeting him. Super cool guy. Then when we were at Tacos and Beer, the only person that hadn't experienced it was Nate and Juan. Juan had never experienced. He had never experienced Tacos and Beer in all the years going to SEMA with us. So
missing
Nate
out.
and Juan were our 2 newbies, along with my dad and my uncle and Jared.
Sure.
And them. And so we sit down, we order our tacos, we get them going. Nate's like, yeah, okay, I don't think it could be that great. I don't, whatever,
You guys are
not getting
hyping
my
too
hopes
much.
up. Right. As soon as they came, he's like, oh, these look pretty good. Juan takes a bite of his, and Juan just starts eating them as fast as he can. He's like, these are really good, you guys. I don't know if you've ever had these. These are really good. And we're like, yes, Juan, that's like the best. That's why we come here. And then Nate just started moaning.
Oh.
It was
no.
It was pure ecstasy for next day Nate to just enjoy and eat these things. While he was eating them, he was texting his wife, telling her how they needed to plan a Vegas trip solely to come to tacos and beer.
Well, I think they're kind of like an aphrodisiac. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Like there's something that they get things moving.
Tacos and beer is just couples therapy.
I think you're right. I think you're right. So
I think they're using like oyster juice or something like that inside some of these.
All I know is Nate was like I couldn't eat my tacos because he was moaning so loud. He was taking bites. He was just like, oh my God, this is so good.
It was just getting really uncomfortable.
It was a little uncomfortable, but it was good. The point was we all had a great night, and then we were all staying at the Westgate Hotel. So
how was that,
Jared
by the way?
It was fine. Jared and Freddie were staying at the Sahara. My dad and my uncle were staying at the Conrad Hilton, and then the rest of us were all staying at the Westgate. Now, we had Ubered from Tacos and Beer back to the Westgate, and normally we do. We rent a car, but the way John and I figured it out was like, we're at the Westgate. Monday's going to be our busiest, heaviest use of Uber that day. The rest of the week, it's only going to be to dinner and back. So it shouldn't be a huge expense. The other thing was to rent a Suburban was $1,300 for the week while we were there. On top of that, we had to pay for parking to park the vehicle all day. Yeah. So it didn't really make sense. So we said, John and I looked at each other, we're like, man, if we can have our total Uber bill under that $1,500 for the week, we're pretty good. So Monday was our heaviest Uber use day, and I think we were probably $300 or $400 total in Ubers by the end of Monday. But Tuesday, it wasn't going to be, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were at the show, so it wasn't going to be a big deal. But Westgate was actually not too bad. The hardest part with the Westgate is it's still a giant hotel. Yeah. So it's once you go in, like you walk quite a ways to the elevator, and then you take the elevator up to your floor, and then you walk another like
quarter
mile. Yeah. It's still like you're just like these hallways are massive. It's like when we were at the DoubleTree in the UK, and we're like, geez, how long is this hallway? Like, yeah, they're very long. And so that was the other thing was like, one of the nights John was like, come down to the bar, to the sports book. Me and Jeff and John are down, or Josh are down here. And I was like, no, I already made it to the hotel. I'm not going to walk. Like, that's a mile walk. Like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So, but basically it was nice because at the Westgate, we stayed there. We were able to be just, realistically, we were probably still 1.5 miles from the convention center. But our walk every day was about equal to our walks normally when we would park and walk in. Yeah. So the difference was we're in air-conditioned comfort the whole way because they have a sky bridge all the way through, and you're inside the building. So the only time we had to walk out was, remember when we walked out of the Westgate and into the North Hall? That was what we did every morning. Yeah. And then we just go up the stairs of the North Hall, up the escalator, and then across the sky bridge, and then back down, and then into our building. So it actually wasn't that bad of a trek between the two buildings. But Tuesday, show started. Actual attendance for this year's show was 94,000 sold tickets. So sold badges. So down by almost 50%.
Still more than I expected.
Right, I thought so too. And then down in booth count by almost 30%. So there were a lot of big spaces open where booths used to be, where vendors left. I mean, 600 vendors have pulled out, and some of them were extremely large vendors. So a lot of the auto body and paint, a lot of the big detailing, a lot of the other big major manufacturers pulling out. So they spaced out. A lot of companies sending less employees because the fact that they didn't have as big of a booth, or they were
us
running a smaller
included.
booth, or they were spread out. They were added more vehicles to their booth and less stuff in their booth. I mean,
Sure.
one company that makes trailer hitches, they just had 6 or 7 cars in their booth, and then just one like Craftsman toolbox, and that was where they had 6 people working around the Craftsman toolbox, basically. Like, so, kind of a much different SEMA, but a really nice SEMA. We went to the New Products Award breakfast. Jared joined us that morning and went to New Products Award breakfast with us, and then into the show. Spent the morning just hanging out. We got ready, and our booth, our hall was pretty light Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, it got very busy. And we were placed right next to Avery Dennison and Super Winch. So on either side of us, we had Avery Dennison and Super Winch. So big companies on either side, and across from us was Wet Oakley. It's the neoprene seat cover company, was directly across.
Right. Yeah, they're actually
straight across from us, and
not huge, but larger.
they're a big company, but they normally have a very large booth. This year they just had a 20 by 30 with some seats in it. But all in all, a good little spot for us to be in. I really liked our space in that new hall, and I think we'll probably work at trying to keep that same spot every year. It was really, really good. Yes.
Thanks, G.
Yikes.
So, but all in all, really good. I think Nick has a video of some of the traffic at the booth for that morning.
Yeah, I was curious how that felt.
Realistically,
being there.
realistically, a normal SEMA. This was later. This was a couple days later, but this was a normal amount of traffic. This is with all the big YouTubers in our booth, me and Chris from BSB Build.
Yeah,
and,
just at a glance, that feels like 75% of what we normally get.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that does look
walking
lighter.
back to our booth. So a lot less room, or more room, less people. So you could walk, you could stop. Nate said the biggest thing that he loved, but our booth was busy. Like, we had people all the time, the whole time around our booth. But Nate was saying what was easier was the fact that he could take pictures of cars and not have to worry for the throngs of people.
Right.
So that is how many photos did Juan ask to get with Freddie?
Juan took about 100 with Freddie. Because of that. So we thought that was kind of it was very strange, but Juan was funny. He was having a good time. He was talking to folks, and he was really actually indispensable in the booth, because what we didn't realize was even though we didn't have a lot of the European and presence, UK presence, and Australia and New Zealand, all those folks, we had a lot of people from Mexico and South America that were coming in for the show. So we needed Juan there every day. So, and then here's us next to the Avery Dennison booth. So we had Justin and Charlie and Chad doing raps over there. So that was really cool.
The Tycon and an Urus.
Nice. Yep. That Tycon was done in Bedliner. Their new Bedliner vinyl. It looked rad. It looked so rad.
Bedliner vinyl.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's not like real Bedliner, but it's textured vinyl.
But it is textured.
But yeah, and then but all in. I mean, like, that's good traffic. That was really good traffic in our booth.
That looks better than I would
throughout
expect.
The day. Right, no problems. The biggest thing was just that new hall was massive, 600,000 square feet, and they had changed everything around. So if someone hadn't gone to SEMA in a couple years, they were really they had to look for new stuff. And then out front, Pennzoil pulled out. There's a bunch of companies that pulled out, so they put a bunch of the cars that I think they were going to put inside, they put outside. So outside was actually flooded with cars.
Really?
And had a ton of stuff. So that was kind of a surprise too this year, was that. Upper South was where they moved all the tools and equipment and auto body stuff. So like Viper Chairs was up in the Upper South Hall. Scan Grip was in the Upper South Hall. Any of those guys, Innovative Tools and Technology, they were upstairs in the South Hall. So kind of weird. So companies that had been used to being in the North Hall were now in the Upper South. and then automotive detailing and restyling was all in the West Hall along. And so kind of a weird setup, but I think it worked overall. So Tuesday night, we went out with the crew from Exo Shield to tacos and beer because, it was our next night. So here we are having tacos and beer with our friends at Exo Shield. And this time, Nate and Juan were not strangers to it, and they just wolfed it all down. They had a blast. So we sat at the exact same table we did the night before, and just had a great dinner with them. Super fun to be able to hang out with those guys. And the whole crew is there, so that was a lot of fun. And then that was Tuesday night, so kind of a good thing. Finish our first day of SEMA, decent show, decent turnout. Go grab dinner with some friends, and there was nothing really more than just hang out. That was the nice thing. Headed back to the room. Nate and I were sharing a room. Juan and Jeff were sharing a room, and then John and Josh were sharing a room. Nate and I had a pretty nice room. We even had a couch in our room.
Ooh, that sounds
quite
nice.
a large. It was about the size of our room in the UK, Anthony. Our hotel room.
Oh,
that's not
only
bad
had
at all.
only it had a couch in it.
That was like a bowling alley.
Desk, yeah, it was really good sized room. So plenty of room to work and spread out and stuff. But Wednesday morning we got up, and this time we didn't have breakfast, so we could actually sleep in. So we slept in for about an hour. Everybody got down. So we met downstairs at 8:00. Grabbed some breakfast at the Starbucks there inside the hotel. Got coffee and some sandwiches that were actually really good. And then walked to the booth. Started the show, and Wednesday was probably our busiest day. It was steady the whole day. Just couldn't. I mean, it was so busy. And Nate spent the entire day wandering around. He went. I mean, you guys were sending him shopping lists, and he was going around trying to get as much video.
Well, he is getting me. Yeah, he was getting a ton of video, but like it was all
on an adventure.
It was all shot horizontally where I needed it vertically for video stuff. But then it's like also how much vertical footage do I need of the cars and like wheels and truck tires and like that's just I guess a lot of the footage I got, while it was very good, I needed more booth things. Like, honestly, I don't even think I got one shot of our packaging that we had in our towel. So I was like, dang it. I probably should have asked.
I caught it in the background in a few, and I was like, oh, those look so good.
Yeah.
Now, I am going to interrupt
I've got some photos. I do have some photos.
Okay, good.
I had lots of people asking.
I've got a really good comment/question here from our good buddy Scott over at Koenig. He's dropping.
Scott, let's bring it up here.
Okay, well, that doesn't quite
So I'll
fit.
go ahead and read it here.
Yeah.
It says, so you spoke about attendance, and we can understand that a lot of people were ready to hit Vegas. But what about the quality of the buyer? Brand awareness is cool, but were companies doing business?
Fair question.
So that was our question too. I feel that I know that Koenig's situation was much more different than ours. We were able to lighten up our booth, make it a little less heavy. And I know Scott could do that. However, it's the number of people he could take to work the booth with him.
Yeah.
And I would say that, Scott, if there was only 3 of you that worked that booth, you guys would have been swamped and buried the whole week. However, this did weed out because of the way the show was set up. Yes, a ton of people were ready to hit Vegas, but I didn't get nearly the number of people. 2 years ago, I had people stopping by going, when do I get to be a Grand Ambassador? When do I get this? Are you giving anything away for free? Can I be a sponsor? I didn't get any of those. I got people going, I need to be distributing in my business. I want to set up a dealer account. I want to be doing this for I open a new shop, or we've had significant growth over the last 2 years. And I think I'm ready to start becoming a distributor and dealer. So for us, we had a ton of dealer requests, which is our 3rd tier buyer, and our top 2 tiers buyers. We got a few of those. A lot of South America for us. The biggest thing was just that was really the only country that could get in. So our quality of buyer was much better than what we saw 2 years ago, because the people that were there were literally there to do business.
So it acted as a sort of filter.
It did. Because you didn't have a lot of the looky-loos or people that showed up that we're going to SEMA. It
Right.
was,
And
no
those
one's
are-
going to SEMA, so I'm not going to go.
Those are fun. We don't want to discount those
Yeah.
for people who want to just enjoy it for the spectacle of it. But at the same time, if you're going to have a crowd in a booth and your job is to be a business there, you want those people there to be about business too.
Right.
So having
Right.
that element is important. Now, I do have another comment, although I'll let you fill in here. You were going to say something first.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to pop in. Andrew, Brazil. Whoa. Okay.
Lake Country, Lake Country.
Andrew
Yeah,
Wilson.
yeah. That's Andrew Wilson. Okay. I saw Brazil's. Okay. Anyway, it's Facebook. Puts a full name in there. I want to chime
It's
in.
Andrew Wilson.
My thoughts are the buyers were more serious. Maybe there were fewer people. The people are more serious. Yes, that's basically what
Yeah.
we're getting.
And that
at
was
is-
exactly how that's what we felt. They wanted to do work. The people that were there were coming because they needed to get stuff done.
Yeah.
They needed
Well,
to get
I
solutions
imagine-
to their problems.
Well, imagine it's like selling a car, right? Basically, you're eliminating the tire kickers that kind of just want to come, and hang out and and shoot the stuff, whereas you're getting people that are actually wanting to stop by and get some stuff done. So, I think that is definitely a good way to look at it, because also too it seemed like it seemed amongst the crowds that were there, like just in the videos. It seemed like while they looked smaller, I think you're eliminating the bulk of the what's it called, I don't know, the people that are there for a good
I was
time.
saying the riffraff.
The riffraff. The riffraff. I don't want to say
It's kind
that.
of rude, but it's
I don't wanna
kind of
be
true too.
judgmental
I mean,
like that, but you can. Well,
Yeah.
when you've gone to SEMA long enough, right? You can look into a crowd because people watch all day long, and you can tell the people that are there.
yeah. Now,
To
to
hang
me,
out versus the people that are
to
there to
me,
do business.
this is purely me, but riffraff to me is a little important if I can get that brand awareness angle where, okay, they recognize our brand, they remember it, they've got an uncle or a brother or a cousin or a sister, somebody who is interested in, the next time they ask, oh, hey, where can I get a good microfiber towel? They remember us and then they mention us to them. Like, that's my hope. I mean, granted, it's a small percentage, but at the same time, that's where riffraff can still be helpful.
My favorite though is the riffraff that comes into the booth and they say, "Hey, so what's this?" And they like start. The guys that don't really like talk, like their communication skills are horrible, and they go, "Hey, what's this?" And they like grab your towels. And
Yeah,
they look
they're
at
very
this,
handsy.
And then they like grab this and say, "What's this?" And you're like, "Oh, this is this towel. This is this towel."
But they look like they don't care.
And then you're like, "Oh, well, this is our new towel." And he says, "Oh no, like I've already bought your stuff. I've been buying it for like 15 years. I just want to look at this. What's this?"
Okay,
I'm
so
like,
you
okay.
just
So
we
lack
had a couple
all
of those.
people skills.
Like, so do you
We
have
had a
any
couple of those.
questions? Are you wanting to buy anything? Oh, no. That's
I
just,
already do.
yeah. All right. See ya.
Okay. Cool.
I'm like, what the heck? I tried to talk to you for 20 minutes and nothing happened. I'm productive. Scott
No,
says,
it was good.
Scott says that's a great outlook, getting so many mixed thoughts from various companies. I can't tell if it's position, location of booths, or if there is something else. I hear the West Hall was the place.
So, to answer that, the West Hall was the place. Beautiful booths, or beautiful layout, beautiful floor plan, lots and lots of gorgeous, brand new,
Oh, sorry.
clean
I didn't know
bathrooms.
where he was going. Bathrooms.
Oh,
What?
no. That's what Anthony cares
See,
about.
that's what
Dane,
I'm
Dane,
all about.
Dane, I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
From where I was standing, I could view 5 different bathrooms on either side of me. And I knew that there was 15 other bathrooms right out the door that I could go up to and nobody would be at.
Well, but Levi, that's the thing though. You go to
Fully
these
private
bathrooms,
bathrooms.
and they're all full, right?
If you're
'Cause they're
not,
porta
if you've
potties,
never
right?
worked
Yeah.
SEMA before,
Are they-
you
they're
not
wouldn't realize
porta potties.
what a luxury this
Wait,
is.
so these actually flush?
These are flush toilets.
Oh,
No.
my God. We're
Indoor
getting
plumbing.
lost on a tangent.
No way.
Indoor plumbing. Yeah.
Well, that's
So,
insane.
West
Oh,
Hall,
Andrew, we
West
missed you
Hall
too,
was
buddy.
gorgeous in there. It was, and I will say, Andrew will also attest to this because he was just 2 booths down from us.
Yeah.
The bathrooms in that building far more acceptable than the bathrooms in the
Previous.
tent, so to speak.
I would imagine so.
Far nicer, far cleaner, far more relaxing. The biggest thing. Oh, and Glenn was there. We got to see Glenn
Nice.
from Swag
Yeah.
Rides. It was so much fun to have Glenn. Got to meet his wife finally.
Great guy.
Super cool to see him. I miss him so much. So it was awesome to be able to not only be able to use the bathroom, and not feel like you were stepping into a swamp.
I like that.
But Dane, there was a food court just no more than maybe 50 steps away from our booth.
That was
with
always the
Dunkin'
problem in
Donuts,
past years was being
pizza,
able to
hot
locate
dogs, hamburgers,
food without
chicken
getting
sandwiches,
lost in the
noodles, like teriyaki bowls.
But Levi,
like,
that's fine. You
all
can have
the
all the
grades.
you can have all the
Also-
food in the world, but where would you go to eat it? Because you can't eat behind our booth like we normally did in previous years.
No, you just go have a seat at one of the many tables and chairs and dining spots that are available in the new West Hall to have a delicious lunch or
Okay,
take
so-
a few minutes to just
well,
sit
then-
back and relax.
How much was a sandwich? How much was a hot dog?
Sounds like a
It was
travel
like
agent
15,
right now.
it was like $12 to $15.
Okay, that's kind
Yeah,
of what I
that's-
was
It was a lot.
thinking.
Sounds about
It
right.
was a lot. Like I would get a slice of cheese pizza, like a big slice of cheese pizza was like $8.
Yeah. So what-
however, one of the things that I
Yeah.
loved was the fine assortment of Pepsi beverages.
Wow, that's nice. So what me and
Lot of
Dane did
great
in previous
Pepsi
years, so me and Dane would normally go to the food truck outside of the tent.
Yeah.
Right? We would go and get whatever the heck we were going to get, maybe like a sandwich or like a Philly cheesesteak, whatever the heck it was, and chips. And then we would sit crisscross applesauce
On the
outside of the tent next to the AC units.
Yeah.
Where people
Yes.
would smoke cigarettes and blow the smoke
Yeah.
in our face.
Between drags of cigarettes, you'd maybe get your
Well,
sandwich.
Maybe between
yeah.
that and then the tires smoke from the Continental booth, it really kind of set the vibe. So while I
SEMA,
kind of like
baby.
what you're saying, I kind of liked the more trashy vibe that me and Dane experienced.
The county fair
Well,
experience.
This was a nice white open space with beautiful sun skylights.
This sounds like a
climate
resort
controlled.
by comparison.
It was oh my gosh, you guys! It wasn't even like comparable. It was so much nicer. We were and then here's the other kicker: we had the SEMA member lounge, just like 3 booths over, where they had tables, chairs. You could go in, scan your badge. You could go in and grab food from there, like sandwiches and soda and
Okay.
beer and snacks, a lot cheaper than buying it outside in the hall.
Is that true that
So, if you were a
were they
SEMA
doing
member-
massages too in the member lounge? I heard that they're
They
doing
weren't.
massages,
I
like
wish they- I wish
shiatsu
they were.
massages. So actually, what it was Dane's massage chair that they transported
see?
down to Vegas.
Andrew's
a busy
Andrew's
chair.
right. It was really great. So, yeah, the bathrooms were really great for using porta potties for the last like 5 years. It was really good. So it was nice to have a real bathroom. But Wednesday night we went out to dinner. So we finished the show. We were exhausted. We ran. We were like, man, what are we doing for dinner? I forgot to tell you, Tuesday night too, after dinner with the group of tacos and beer, me and the boys, minus Jeff, we went to Justin Day's Detailers of Las Vegas party. Had a great night hanging out with the gang down there.
Nice.
Smaller party this year.
Naturally, yeah.
Different crowd than the previous years, but still a lot of fun.
What's that mean?
Just a lot of the people that we normally would see there weren't there, so it was a totally new crop of
Okay.
retailers and folks that I've seen on Facebook and stuff. But the regulars really weren't there. The regulars that were there, Kevin Brown, Larry Casilla, and that was about the people that I've seen at the last few
The ones we
series.
usually
So let's just
yeah.
say you missed seeing Jason
Everybody else was
Rose's
there.
trailer outside.
Oh yeah, Jason Rose's trailer is almost always
Jason
outside.
wasn't there, so.
Oh,
But yeah, all the boys from Lake Country were there. Bob was there. Good time. We had a lot of fun. And my bouncy house
I guess if you squint, it's kind of like a
looks
bouncy
like
house.
looks like a bunch of totes in a storage room. But anyway, we went and did that Tuesday night. But good little party. Had a lot of fun with that. But Wednesday night, because we were going to dinner, we said we made a reservation. Our reservation was for 7:45, so we got out of the show at 5, and dinner wasn't until 7:45. So a lot of time to go back to the hotel, freshen
Sure.
up, kind of hang
Yeah.
out, chill out for a bit. John said everybody meet down in the sports book at 7, so we cruise on down, and we're headed to Fogo de Chao.
Ooh.
Now, little Brazilian steakhouse. Now we were very excited for us to enjoy this.
Well, because it's an all you can eat,
Brazilian
right?
meat.
I mean, basically, it's all you can eat. You're gonna get so full, you're barely gonna have to. You're gonna have to get rolled out of that place because that's just how Brazilian steakhouses work.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we went in there, had dinner with the rest of the team from Coach Kemi.
Nice.
We showed up at 7:45. We showed up at 7:30, and then checked in and said, "Hey, we're here," but the place was packed. So we said our reservation is for 7:45. We're 15 minutes early, just to let you know. We'll be waiting outside. So we stand outside. 7:45. Josh goes in to check. They say, "Hey, we're bumping your reservation to 8:15." Oh, okay. I haven't eaten anything since 2:00. So it's now been 6 hours and 15 minutes. And so it was so Scott, this is my Master of Shine podcast studio right here in my little storage room in my garage. And I got Teddy baseball right over here over my shoulder. Which shoulder? There we go. Anyway, so we got to the restaurant. We're hanging out. It's 8:15. We walk in, and I'm looking at Josh, and I'm going, I'm gonna fill my belly with 4.5 pounds of meat tonight, and it's gonna come out of this place, right? Yeah. So we walk in, we sit down. I find out what the game plan is. Go grab some salad, and then when you come back, flip over your card, and they're gonna start bringing you out the meat.
Oh boy.
So I thought, I know this game. I'm not gonna fill up on salads. That's not the way I do.
That's what you go to a Brazilian steakhouse for.
Yeah.
Right. So I went and got fruit. I got some pineapples. I got some orange slices, and I brought those back on my plate. Sat down, just something to wash out the palate a little bit between the meats. Flip over my card. Pull up my sleeves, unbuckle my belt. I'm ready to get this party started. They brought out the meat so fast, so quickly. All these guys just cutting and slicing and bringing out stuff. I didn't know half the stuff I was getting, but it was much smaller pieces than I was expecting. And, and I was grabbing the meat and I was eating it, but I was noticing that. I was pulling it all right off and putting it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Josh and I are looking at each other, and then all of a sudden the meat frenzy stops.
Yeah. Oh. Where do they go?
It stops.
Where'd they go? They
and I'm
ran
like, my little plate is a little mountain of meat, but it looks to me like it's only about a pound of meat.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm eating.
Roughly 16 ounces. Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I see him come by, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I'm gonna get. Nope. Okay, we're not getting any of that. See another one come by. I'm like, this is strange. All of a sudden, a guy comes around and goes, "Can I take your plates?" And I said, yeah, because I'm assuming maybe they want to bring us new plates. So I'm like, well, I'm still working on this, but you can have this empty plate. And I'm just kind of eating the meat and working on it. I'm like, man, I'm waiting for these big strips of meat to show up.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you're enjoying the company, though, of the coach team, right? So you said that they were
we're hanging out with
they said that they were youthful and young, and they had great conversations with you guys about all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. Adam and I were talking about back in the day when we went to California and we were at an event where it was him and William Lara, and it was the very first trip Jeff and I went on to California to meet with a potential company, and that was so we were reminiscing about that, laughing, telling stories. Jeff and Andrew were talking. Jason was sitting across from me and Josh and next to Nate. So we were all just telling stories and stuff, but I was a little surprised by the lack of meat coming to the
meat
table.
House.
So from a meat house. And I thought, this is all I got? Then all of a sudden,
quality, not quantity.
Right. Then she brings out our dessert menus. She goes, anybody need any desserts? And I'm like,
do you want more meat? So did you say anything? Because I would have said something because of me as a person would not allow that to happen.
You're going to sound like the ungrateful person at the table.
That's
it?
I don't know those people. I'll take them for all they're worth. Give me the whole ham hock. Give me that thing. Give it to me.
Where's the cow? I'll handle it.
So Nate did that. Nate took an entire chunk of porterhouse. He just took the bone, took the whole thing, and said, I'll just take this. because it was literally the last thing. Like I got a couple cubes of porterhouse handed to me, and then Nate took the whole bone because he's like, enough of this. But point was, we ended the night. It was 11 o'clock.
Whoa!
By the time we finished dinner, so, but I was like, or maybe it was 10:30. But I was like, I am still hungry, and there is not enough meat in this belly. I was expecting meat sweats. I was expecting walking out there. And I was literally looking, and I looked at Josh and John, and I said, are you guys still hungry? And they said, yes. And I said, should we go to tacos and beer?
Oh,
Really?
I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry, and I could probably do 4 or 5 tacos right now. Like
Wow.
I am that hungry.
voracious.
And they're like,
appetite.
nah, let's go back to the hotel. So we head back to the hotel. I stop into the little convenience store in the hotel, grab me some snacks, and we go back up to the rooms and go to bed. It was midnight by then, and it was just
See,
like,
Levi, I wouldn't.
So I
have
went to bed
allowed
hungry.
that. Yeah, I wouldn't have
I went to
allowed
bed
that
hungry.
to happen.
I would pay out of
is-
my own pocket for
the
an Uber
restaurant,
to go.
Well,
the
Levi,
restaurant was fine.
Yeah.
Everything was good. It just, I was surprised because I thought, I'm gonna
It
fill
left
this belly
a
tonight,
bad
and it did
meat
not.
taste in your mouth. So can
It
we
did.
go
It did.
ahead and review that restaurant, all of us together, and the combined power of our podcast to maybe give them not like a necessarily a bad review, but maybe a 3-star review saying not enough meat in Levi's belly.
Oh no! When it comes to reviews,
Yeah, I
5
can say
stars
that.
are nice. 1 stars, you can
Yeah.
write them off as like a really just outlandishly angry person. The 3 stars, the 2 and 3 stars are the ones that stick with you, the ones that bother you because
Yeah.
you're just like, I was this close, but something didn't work for them, and those are the ones
3
that
stars.
keep you up at night.
Pineapples
Yeah.
and oranges were delightful. The creme brulee was delicious. Not enough meat.
Oh, my
Yeah.
favorite are the
Uh,
reviews though that give like 3 stars, but they talk about what an excellent experience it was, and they don't do 5 stars. They're like, why didn't you do 5 stars?
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
So-
so
all right.
it was kind of frustrating. So then that was the only downer was that I
Okay.
wasn't satisfied. But the
Yeah.
dinner was great. The people were great. The crew was great. It was a fun night. We still had
That's
a good
important.
time. But Thursday, headed back to the show, early morning, Dunkin' Donuts, delicious donuts in the morning at the little kiosk there at the convention center.
So it's in the center.
But Thursday morning, we wanted to go wander around. So Thursday morning was the first part of the morning that me and Nate and Juan and Josh could go wander around because Jeff and John had a meeting that morning. So we got early, we went, started wandering, got to go to the Central Hall, take some pictures of some Hondas, take some pictures of some Toyotas, some Chevys, Ford, stuff like that.
Did you guys even know that they revealed the Civic Si there, the new 2022 there? They
Yeah,
didn't
I
reveal
took
it,
a
but
bunch of-
they brought it there.
I took a bunch of pictures for you.
Yeah. Did you like it?
And no, it looks. I think the Elantra N looks way more tough. than
Was
SI.
Hyundai there?
No.
Dang, because that would have been kind of
Yeah.
cool to do a comparison.
Yeah.
And then
No, I thought the
then-
new Civic Si was.
Well, I wanted to have
didn't
some
look
kind
as
of like
tough.
corporate discussions with Honda. Me, one on one.
Yeah.
And just say like, hey guys, so I see what you've done here.
You're fumbling a lot lately.
It's kind of ugly. So I'm going to give you a chance here to try to make this better, or unfortunately, I'm going to have to go over to Hyundai because they're just looking like they're offering a little bit more.
Gee, I can't post that.
for me at this time. Oh my god!
Okay. So it looks like Nick has received the second batch of SEMA photos. If you check
good.
his Slack.
Now he can start
some of those
sharing
up.
those.
Yeah, the third and fourths are still not available. So,
Yeah.
but it was a good morning. We wandered around. We checked out some stuff. We were able to kind of see a little bit, and we headed back to the booth. Set up. So Thursday was another busy day. Just a steady day of people coming to the booth. Thursday were probably our busiest. Tuesday afternoon, and then Wednesday, Thursday, fully booked that whole day, solid. Finished out the day where it was again like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I hadn't even eaten yet, and so I was holy crap, I got to grab some food. So yeah, here we go. Here's again just a shot of the facility and the place and people wandering around. I mean,
so
good,
Levi,
good
so
traffic.
No, it
help
looks
me
lively
understand this.
enough,
So
yeah.
I'm seeing some people wearing masks,
Yeah,
some
it's a
people
mixed
having
bag.
them down on their chin,
So-
some people not having them at all. What was there any, I mean, what was the deal with that?
Was there like enforcement?
So
They made it
you
sound
had
like
to
there
have-
would be.
There was enforcement in the sense that they had actual police officers walking the show floor. They had police. They had security walking the show floor, asking people to put their masks on.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you you couldn't walk into the hall without having a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, though, there was tons of people that would walk into the hall and then take their mask off.
Yeah.
And wander around
And-
until someone told them to put their mask on, and then they put a mask on for a few seconds, take it back off.
Yeah.
So, like our friends at ExoShield, they were masked the entire show. They
Sure.
did not deviate from that because they were from Canada, and
Uh-huh.
if they had to take a PCR test on Wednesday, and so they were doing their best because they had to have that PCR test to be able to get back on the plane, because if any of them tested positive for COVID, they were going to be quarantined for the next 15 days in Vegas. So they said, we are taking this so seriously. Everybody's vaxxed. We're not, they're all vaxxed. They're all masked.
They have a vested
We're not-
interest in not
we're
being
not
trapped
chancing-
in another
we're
country.
not chancing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it really just depended on the companies, and it depended on the people at the companies. You'd walk over to like the Warren booth in Factor 55, Fab Fours, and Fab Tech. You walk over to their booth, everybody is wearing a mask, and then they're talking to tons of people that don't have masks on.
Sure.
So it really was up to the booths. You'd go by other booths, nobody would have masks on. So
I mean,
it
really,
just
that's
depended
about
on
what I
on the
expected.
booths.
Yeah.
Now, if like on the times when the traffic got light, we would, me, John, Josh, and Jeff,
Sure.
we take our
Yeah.
masks off, wipe our faces, kind of catch our
Mhm.
breath. When we didn't have the traffic or the people around us. And then as soon as people show up, it was like, "Oop, let's put our mask back on. All right,
Yeah.
what can we do? How can we help you?" But yeah, it was honestly a lot of people just what they wanted to do. Now, in the evenings, when we'd be walking back to the hotel, before you'd enter different buildings, you would have to make sure that you had your masks on
Sure.
as you walked into certain places. But again, same kind of thing. You walk in the hotel, take your mask off. You'll probably be asked 4 or 5 times to put your mask back on, or they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
But there was other times where people just weren't. They just wasn't a big deal for them.
Okay.
So kind of a weird situation for myself.
Yeah.
I just stayed masked the whole time and didn't worry about it.
Yeah, you pick your
and
battle.
our
Obviously,
team,
when you
our,
said the
our team
restaurants.
stayed masked the entire time, right?
Yes, for the most part. But yes, we were. I know John and Josh like to take their mask off. John's got that big beard, so he was taking it off because he kept pushing his beard around. So he'd fix it. But anytime we were talking to customers, everybody had their masks on, and we were good. to
Okay.
go.
That's good. Yeah.
But it was very interesting because there were times where we'd have the gaps of people. So of course you take it off. Like I took my mask off, and then my dad walked by and took a picture of me with my mask off, and I was like, "Oh, come on, Dad!
The one time. Now they're gonna think.
You can't do that."
Yes,
Yeah. Send it to my family chat. My parents, my mom.
Your
like, "Why
your
are you not wearing
mom,
a mask?"
yeah, your mom was commenting a lot on my Instagram, and on the Rad Company Instagram, she was replying to any story with you in it, saying Levi exclamation point, like you should be wearing your mask.
Yeah. So very fun
scold
to
you,
have
yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
I was like, Maria, I
Um,
understand. We're all trying to tell him that, but your son, he is not listening, and his friends are a bunch of hoodlums out here.
Yeah. No, we were.
So-
it was funny.
Point
But
is,
that's
it
my
was
mom.
all over
So
the
she
place.
was like, "Oh, it was crazy." So there was like, you'd have some people that will walk up, and you'd have 2 people that were walking around together. One guy's fully masked, the other guy doesn't have his mask on. Like,
Yeah.
and they're walking the show together, and they're from the same company. So
Mm-hmm.
it was hard to say. There was a couple spots where it just depended on the day and what people were doing. Some days people were totally masked. Other days we all of a sudden seemed like, what the heck? Like, but Thursday was a normal day. nice, busy day. Got everything done. Thursday night, we went out to dinner with MTM Veloci. Went to a restaurant called Le Bouchon in the Venetian.
Sounds French.
So
sounds like
it
sounds
was.
Like a French
We
restaurant.
had,
yeah.
Many French restaurants. One of the best things they do, and they're known for, is French fries and steak. And that's literally what all of us ordered. Was we go around the table and it was French fries and steak all the way around. That, however, was a delicious steak, plenty of meat, plenty of French fries.
Yeah.
Felt satisfied by the end of the night. That was a long dinner.
Did
we were
you
done
go
with
with
that dinner.
Did you
by
go with a
11.
ribeye yourself, or what were you thinking? Ribeye?
I looked at the ribeye. The ribeye was about $90, so I stayed away from that.
Yeah,
I went with
not
the
bad.
$45 fillet. Yeah, I went with $45 fillet and had that. Still delicious. Juan and John got the bigger steaks. Juan was very full from the last few nights' dinners, so I ended up eating half of his steak. So that was good. So I was good. I had a steak and a half. I was happy to go. Had a fun dinner with that crew. We laughed and just enjoyed each other's company. It was great fun.
Good.
And then Thursday, so that's Thursday night. Then we headed back to the hotel, and that was the night that by the time Nate and I, so we had to order double Ubers because there was 6 of us, and many of the Ubers we noticed were a lot small. There were no 7-seaters. There was 5-seaters and 3-seaters. So we'd order 2 to save money so we could 3 and 3. Well, John orders an Uber. I order an Uber, and we're both standing there. John's Uber shows up, and it's a friggin' Suburban.
Ooh, wow.
And I go, did you order an XL? And he goes, no, I just ordered a regular Suburban, or just a regular Uber. And then he hops in and goes, we'll see you guys, and leaves. And Nate and I, and Juan went and jumped in there. So Nate and I are standing there in the Venetian waiting.
Yeah.
10 minutes go by, and my Uber still hasn't arrived, and it's still saying 10 minutes out. So I cancel it. Order a second, 10 minutes away.
Really?
So Nate and I, by the time we get back to the hotel, it's 11:40. Dinner was over at 11, and we were standing there at 11:40 waiting for our Uber still. But we got back to the hotel, and that was the night where I was walking back up, and I got to our hotel room, and John's like, hey, come down to the sports book. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Never mind. So then Friday morning we woke up, and we had to pack all our stuff. So we packed all our bags, got everything put back in our suitcases, took everything downstairs, put everything behind our booth, got everything set up, then went and had breakfast. Jeff slept in. We gave him that night. The boys told him, John and Josh said, hey, sleep in. You don't have to be to the booth. You don't have to worry. Grab your stuff. Just pack up. But take your time getting back to the booth. Checkout's not till noon, basically. I think it was 11:30 or something. So your dad was like, really? Are you guys sure? And we're like, go for it. He was exhausted. Thursday afternoon, he was pretty tired, and Thursday night he was pretty tired. So
he barely sleeps as it is, so he needs that.
Yeah. So to say just sleep in, don't worry about it, show up to the booth when you're ready, worked really well. So he did. So he showed up at about 10:30, but he was like, wow, that was nice. It's
no interruptions.
Here at 9:00. Just take your time. So he liked that part about it, and the fact that it was so close. He just had to walk over. Had his bag. We put all our bags back behind the thing, and then the show went from 9 to 4, and it was a lot lighter. Friday's show was a lot lighter in our hall. I got out and got to walk over and check out some of the central hall a little bit, and there was a ton of people over there. So I don't really know exactly where the groups were moving to.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the West Hall, you're kind of cut off from everybody. Where when we were in the tents, you could see people filing by.
Right, yeah, they were all going somewhere else, yeah.
Right, they're coming in this way, and this is the main feed point or the main exit point. We didn't have that. It was just people would show up in our hall or not. So, But Friday was good. By 4 o'clock, we started tearing everything down. John's game plan was to have everything torn down within an hour and a half so we could leave and get an Uber to the airport. We got everything torn down, and we were out of our booth at 5:15. We had Freddie's car pushed out and started. We pushed it out of the booth because it was going to smoke up for the first like few minutes while it warms up. It smokes because the way the motor's designed, it dumps oil back into the intake manifold to keep everything lubed up, and so it has to burn off some of that oil. And so he's like, I don't want to start it because it's going to smoke out this whole place. So we pushed it all the way up to the back door, and then once he got outside, he fired it back up, and then him and Jared left. We grabbed all of our stuff. Booth was packed. We were done. Grabbed our stuff, caught our Ubers to the airport, walked upstairs, and then had a nightmare walking through security.
Oh.
3 of us had clear. 2 of us had pre-check. 1 of us was general population. So the 3 of us that had clear got pushed right to the front of the pre-check line to get in front of the pre-check folks. And then as we're going through, I had a guy arguing with me that this is not a pre-check line and that I needed to take my shoes off. I needed to pull all my stuff out of my bag. Was arguing with me. And then I had so when I did kick my shoes off and put my stuff back on the conveyor and everything, another TSA agent who was standing right next to me
defeats the whole purpose of why you're
and that's
clear.
my argument. That was my argument. Was I said I have pre-check. I don't need to do any of this stuff. And he's like, doesn't matter. It's a pre-check line. Everybody has to go through here. and I had a TSA agent standing there listening to the whole argument. I finally kicked my shoes off, pulled my stuff out of my bag like I needed to, all that stuff, put it in the bins, sent it through the conveyor, turned around to walk through the security thing, and the guy goes, oh, yeah, you're pre-check. You can come through here. And I'm like, what the? And then it happened the exact same way to your dad, to John, and to Josh, who all, Bill, your dad technically wasn't pre-check, but he said he was and walked through. But John and Josh had pre-check, and they did the same thing, but we all had to kick our shoes off. And the guy was just like, oh, sorry, it's pre-check. Come on over here. So Juan didn't get bothered. He made it through. I got hassled. John got hassled. Josh got hassled. And then poor Nate had to wait through the whole line. So after everybody got through, it was probably about 15 minutes later, Nate came through the line. And I just stood there and waited for him at the other end while everybody else went to find a restaurant and go to the bathroom. But it was a rough part of the last bit of the night.
That is why I like the drive.
But then a plane at 10 o'clock. Plane was at 8 o'clock, and we were landed in Boise by 10:30. To be home on a Friday night, like that was pretty sweet. Like I was home by 11 and like 11:10, and I was happy, dude. I was happy to be home, but I was exhausted. Yeah, absolutely exhausted.
Understandable.
That Friday SEMA blast, like where you're just done sitting in the rental car or the Uber, trying not to like fall asleep. It was rough. Then we got home. Kids were excited. They woke me up at 5:30 in the morning to give me hugs and wake me up and do all that stuff. So I don't feel like I got enough sleep this weekend. I feel like I've been trying to catch up. About 2:30, I couldn't see straight, so I fell asleep. Took a 2-hour nap, woke back up, and I still felt exhausted and groggy. So this weekend's been a lot of catch up. And then today I'm home because, we've been hanging out in Vegas with 100,000 people at a show. So I went and took my PCR test this morning, so just awaiting the results. But all of us took Monday off. Everybody that went took Monday off, mostly to get tested and make sure that we're all good and safe to come back. But none of us have had any symptoms. None of us have had any felt bad at all or anything like that. None of us.
Well, and you still have your voice. That doesn't normally happen.
No, a lot of Fisherman's Friends this week. Tuesday, I started feeling it go, and Wednesday and Thursday, I just tried to really take care of it. So
yeah.
So did you have any fun like run-ins with people, from around the industry and stuff? Like you didn't really get into too much of the people you saw.
Got to see Larry. Had a great conversation with Larry Casilla. I mean, really good conversation with Larry.
Nice.
And we'll talk to you guys about that when I'm back in the studio. But the other thing was, Magnus Walker stopped by, said hi, recognized us, because we saw him at Monterey. So that was really cool. But we were in the middle of, it was a busy day, and we were talking to customers and stuff. And so to have
you
him stop by
texted me that,
like,
and I got
it was like,
so mad.
Yeah.
You're just like, nobody had a
Nate
camera
wasn't
or
even in
anything.
the
And it's
booth.
like,
No, Nate wasn't in the booth. No, all of us were engaged in customer talking with. And so
you were doing what you're supposed to do.
Doctor, yeah, Dr. G showed up, said hi, visited
Nice.
with
Ooh,
us.
Dr.
He came to
G.
the booth.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while, so it was
Yeah.
good to see him.
How's he doing?
And then he's good. He's good. He wants to talk some business. It was great seeing Mike Phillips and Yancey, previously of Auto Geek, now with 3D. So it was fun seeing them every morning.
Nice.
Talking to them about some stuff. It was all in all a really, really good show. Obviously, Freddie is just a gentleman, and
That's why we keep bringing him back.
Car in the booth.
He's so great.
The car was perfect. Beautiful color. That car matches our company logo perfectly.
Did Jeff want
It
to buy
looked
it from
perfect.
him?
And then
Jeff-
I don't know.
What?
I don't think Freddie wants to sell it. I think Freddie wants
Oh.
to keep it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But Jared was amazing. Jared was so much fun to hang out with. We had such a blast with him. Everybody was super cool. It was fun seeing everybody again. You know, being able to hang out just with the groups, like with the folks. That was probably the most fun. I'm super glad we changed our booth space to the one right next to Avery.
Yeah.
I walked by where our old booth would have been, and not a bad spot, but I'm really glad we moved. Moved up. I think that worked out really, really well. And then just a lot of it was just cool to see everybody, and it was kind of neat to see all the different people at SEMA this year, and to get to meet some of the different, just to see. I like it because you get to see new stuff every year and hang out with new people every year, and that was probably the funnest thing. Just getting back out there and seeing everybody.
Of
And
course,
it's got me excited for mobile tech. I was bummed because we didn't get to see a lot of our detailing friends there because the companies just didn't attend. But I'm excited for mobile tech to be able to see everybody again. But I love that hall. I love that space. I think that's going to be our new home. 54109 is going to try and I'm going to try and really work to keep that as our booth. And then of course Justin from Mountain Town Detail was there, so we got to see him. He was there quite often. Him and Dabbler Details were there, hanging out in our booth with us.
It's a home base.
so
I saw a lot of pictures.
Yeah, treat it like a home base.
I was going to ask.
It was good.
Dabbler was there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dabbler was there.
What the heck?
out.
He didn't tell me that. And wait, and then also Alex that was there too. Lex Garage.
Yeah, yep. Alex was there, but he was there with Viper, so they had quite a
I
fight.
know, but did Alex meet up with Dabbler?
I don't know. You have to ask Justin there and see. If
Actually,
they
I
ever
don't.
did.
I don't really want to know what that experience was. To be honest, I don't know. Those two are kind of crazy.
Oh, man.
They like each other a little bit too much, I should say.
So I wanted to ask, just because it's always something we kind of think about each year. I know at SEMA, every single hall, especially when we were back in the tents in the olden days, i.e. every other year we've been, there's always minders in the tent, in the halls. They look around, they see what kind of activity is going on in each booth. A lot of people may not be aware of this if they've never run a business in the halls here. But it's basically you got your floor managers, and then they have like scouts around, like recon, kind of just seeing what's up, taking notes, seeing who's performing well, who's kind of not really engaging with people passing by, just to see
there's plenty of that. Yeah.
Who's doing what.
You could. So our hall manager was a new girl, and John and I made sure to say hello to her right off the bat. So we got to see her, got to talk to her, and she'd come by and we'd say hi to her. But I didn't see a lot of like I did in the tents. So either they are very short staffed and that hall is so big that
I
they
think
were
it's just
trying
because how big it is.
keep. But I will say, I felt we did a good job keeping our folks engaged, keeping our team engaged, and keeping people active. Because I was Juan and I on Friday walked by some booths, and there's guys sitting on the floor texting.
Yeah. And it's okay in small doses if you have somebody in the background while others are busy engaging people.
Yeah.
But the reason I asked that is because
the only employees standing
it is pivotal. I can't talk. It is pivotal for a business to be engaged with the public at shows like that because people are watching, people are paying attention.
Agreed.
And if you do well, then it bodes well for the next time you got to pick a booth, you got to do all this stuff. It's very much driven by what they think of you. So yeah, it's a bit of a relationship game, but in this case, they're just looking to see, are you actively involved with the process of being a booth at SEMA, or are you just kind of there because you don't really give a rat's and you're just whatever. It really plays into how you're going to be placed in the following year when you get to pick a booth, all that stuff. That's why I was just interested to hear, because I'm wondering, how do you think it's going to shake out for us next year? Are we going to be able to do something similar?
The good news is, the way John and I spoke about this, I think 8 is our magic number. Having 8 of us in the booth, because this year with 6, it was a lot harder, especially with one person out of the booth the whole day. Like Nate would be gone all the time. So it was a little harder to kind of schedule breaks because we were very busy. But John and I were figuring at least 8 of us total for the booth. And I think our booth layout this year worked really, really well. And I think it's something we'll keep for next. I think we'll keep it for next year. It worked really well. The only thing I would add is maybe I want to add some height to the backdrop. I want to add cameras to the backdrop to continuously record as much as possible, just so we can capture a lot of the stuff that when people come in, or put more cameras in our booth in different spots, so we have different camera angles to catch. Because like I said, Magnus Walker stopping by to say hi, and we couldn't really stop to talk to him while he stopped by because we were all so busy. It'd be fun to have footage of that kind of stuff.
Just put up some ring stick-up cams in the background there, capturing all the angles. It was really cool. And then add some more lights to our booth, like either over our bags or over our, that's the one thing I noticed was like our little stick-up lights that we did 2 years ago. I really like that effect. It kind of points you where you should be looking.
We should have added some more lights, but honestly, for what it was, it worked great. And I think it's a good layout, and I think it's a good setup, and it's a lot cheaper for us to do this, do it this way,
and a lot less hazardous.
We can do a lot with it.
Than trying to lift up that huge structure.
Yeah. So what we'll probably do is put that structure up for sale. And sell it and get rid of it, and then try and add a little more to this, but still make it as portable as possible.
Now we can hang that sign, so that's cool.
So,
I like it.
All right.
But good times. I miss you guys. I really, really missed not having you both there.
You're a lot of fun.
Part of the team, and
a lot of fun.
And you guys were missed for sure. So,
I'm sure it feels different going there without the crew you're used to, but we really appreciate you guys going down there and representing us well, and it sounds like it turned out good anyway.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this just, 2022, we got a lot of stuff planned, and we got a lot of stuff in the works, so I think it's going to be a fun year for us and a fun year for TRC, and I'm excited that we get to be able to get moving again and get out, to see everybody and do everything, so I think it'll be fun this year. So.
I agree.
All right. Well, cool. Anything left to add?
No.
That's pretty much it.
I'm getting pretty hungry.
Okay. So Anthony's getting hungry. That's code hungry. For the show has to end now.
I'm sorry. I'm just
good.
We've been going. We'll wait for an hour and 20. Yeah. So Dane,
good.
Take it away.
Well, thank you, Levi, for giving us a scoop on how things were down there. I'm sure there's enough footage to throw together some form of a travel vlog, I hope. And we'll have some fun stuff to include there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that soon. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, we look forward to going back to SEMA next year, hopefully with a little bigger team, and we can capture that much more for you. But once again, we appreciate you popping in here. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Click that button, give the subscribe the D, make it subscribed, and you'll be on your merry way, and we'll be happy to see you the next time we go live. Now, speaking of the next time we go live for Q&A Thursday this week on the main Rag Company channel. Look forward to seeing us there, and maybe Levi will be back in the studio by then. So, take care, and we'll catch you later.
See ya.
See ya.